Happy Thursday, everyone. It's time for my Thursday thoughts. I'm actually coming to you from Wednesday afternoon. Came home early to prep for the hurricane tomorrow. For those of you that live in Florida, you know what I'm talking about. There's a big one out there. We're probably about 24 hours till the weather really starts going south for us. So I did my usual prep, make sure I have water, batteries, all my portable chargers are being charged, making sure that, my medications, I've got enough to get me through, that there wasn't anything that would run out in case something happens and it's going to take a week or so to get medication. And just kind of making my game plan. A lot of us get a little desensitized with the hurricane. It's kind of our normal thing that happens this time of year. But for the elderly, it's a whole different ball game. And especially in Florida right now, we got a lot of rain the last couple of months. So I think flooding is going to be a big issue, and down trees, which means down power lines. So you might be thinking about evacuating your loved one or bringing them home to stay with you. So I want to give you some tips on that. I would make a checklist, ideally before hurricane season comes, so that when the decision's made to evacuate, and usually it's a last minute decision. We don't usually plan a week before a hurricane. Usually as it gets in closer and it starts to blow up, we're like, oh no, we better get out of here. So having that checklist will make that process go a little bit faster and be a little less stressful. Medications, make sure you've got your medications and enough medications to last you a little while. So in case there's massive damage and you can't get your medication refilled, you've got enough to carry you. I'd bring your med list with you, your insurance information, homeowner's insurance, personal insurance, car insurance, identification, all those important papers. So in case something happens to your home, you're not kicking yourself that you don't have that with you. Make sure if you're going to a hotel that hopefully they have a room that's functional for you. If you're handicapped, a handicap room, although that can be challenging when a storm comes because everyone's fleeing all at once. And make sure if they don't have some of those accommodations in the hotel room that you're bringing what you have at home, like toilet seat handles, bed rails, a shower chair. When sometimes we might think it's only going to be a couple of nights, it could turn into days or even weeks if the storm gets worse or does more damage than we anticipated. If you're bringing the loved one home, same thing applies. Medications, important documentation. Adaptive equipment is huge. Again, the toilet seat handles, those are easy to get on and off the toilet, and you can put them right on the toilet at your house. Bed rails, tub benches, lighting. Make sure we have really good lighting for the space that they're going to be using, especially for sleeping. Changing someone's environment, especially in the middle of the night when you wake up and it's dark and you don't know where you are, is definitely an increased fall risk. So having some dusted on lighting or motion sensor lighting in place would be really helpful. Again, I go back to those night lights that I like so much because if the power goes out, those lights are still lit. Make sure you've got snacks, healthy snacks, especially for your loved ones. I've had kids, so it seems like when I buy for hurricane season, it's chips and junk food. But make sure you've got enough water to make sure someone is hydrated, and healthy snacks, things that don't need to be cooked. So if we lose power for any length of time, I recommend filling a propane tank if you've got a gas grill. That could be really helpful. I remember one year cooking everything I had in my freezer because we lacked electricity and I wasn't going to just throw away all that food. So we just pulled it out in the street and started cooking it, and all the neighbors cooked their food, and we had a big old hurricane party. So make sure you're checking on your neighbors, you're checking on your loved ones, especially those elderly population, and we can make sure that they're safe. Everyone be safe, and I'll talk to you next week.